Is this working? Let me turn this off real quick. Can't do that to you. Good afternoon. How you guys doing?
Tom, what has the mood of the locker room been this week for you guys?
Excited and focused. We know we got a big challenge, a very tough test. Great football team coming here, so it's playoff football, and everyone knows what's at stake. So you certainly have to earn it to move on. You have to play good, and a lot of plays come up over the years when I think about playoff football. And if you're on the wrong end of one of them, it's your season. If you're on the right end, you move on. So you don't know which plays that's going to be, and you can't take anything for granted. So guys are working hard and trying to do the right thing.
Tom, you talk about not taking anything for granted. As you go along and you're maybe closer to the end of your career than the beginning, do you ever find yourself getting nostalgic about, this might be the last time I play in this stadium, or anything like that? Sentimental.
Yeah.
Do you let that creep in?
I'm not much for nostalgia. I'm just pretty focused on what I need to do, and it's this week's felt pretty much like every other week for the last 20 years. So just trying to focus on what I need to do, and it's a team that gives you a lot of challenges, and just have to go out there and try to play really well. And they're gonna force us to really be tied together. And when we're not, and when we haven't been this year, it hasn't looked very good. When we have been tied together, it looks pretty good.
You mean tied together in terms of?
Yeah, everyone being on the same page and working together, and anticipating and confidence, and all those things play into it. So, it's kind of where it's been this week.
You're going to love this question, Tom. There's been a lot of discussion.
Make sure this is on.
Yes, there was a
All right.
lot of discussion about you on the sidelines, not only with the new shoes, but also doing some jogging, especially in the second half, which is something that veteran observers of Tom Brady have not witnessed very often. Just
Oh, really?
curious. Yeah, I'm just curious what was going on there.
Nothing. I felt good. I don't think the white shoes are going to make it this week, though. I think I'm putting those things back to bed. They're not making the cut for this game. So I'm back to my dark colored shoes.
And while I got you, you talk about things that you needed to improve from last week. Were some of that mechanical? It looked at times like, you're obviously a tactician when it comes to that stuff. So
Yep.
Did you get a little screwy up with the mechanics?
Those are always important. I wish they were perfect every week, and then I do think sometimes you get a little off, and you got to just go back to the fundamentals and study some mechanics and stuff like that. So I try to focus on that every week. Some weeks a little more than others, but it's a game of skill. It's a game of technique. It's if you're a golfer, not every shot goes 150 yards for me. At least not even for the pro golfers. And every jump shot doesn't go in. It's just doesn't happen like that. So sometimes passing the football is a little bit like that too. There's some days where you feel like, man, everywhere you're aiming, it's just going. And then sometimes the timing's a little bit off, decisiveness a little bit off. It could be mental, it could be physical. But all those things play a factor. You just try to get back to the spot where you really feel like you're most confident. So, but it wasn't, yeah.
Tom, I think you mentioned confidence twice, so I want to ask about that. How do you get your swagger back after maybe the confidence was knocked down a peg or two Sunday against Miami, a game that got away from you, in which you admitted maybe you didn't play your best and the team didn't either?
Yeah, like I said, I think, it's every game's a little different. Everything challenges you a little bit differently at different times. Like, for example, the week before that, we played Buffalo, and it was one of our better weeks. And then, last week wasn't our best week. So hopefully this week's our best week. And, a lot of things happen over the course of the game. And one play could lead to another good play, which could lead to another good play, which leads to a good series, which leads to a good quarter, which leads to a good half, which leads to a good game. Sometimes you got to battle through it. And, it comes down to a couple plays at the end of the game. And it's not perfect, but there's been a lot of postseason games that have been like that, where, we're not blowing teams out 45-0. I mean, these are tight games, and it's one great catch or one great tackle or one great interception or one great strip sack or, that's just part of playing football this time of year. You're going up against a lot of good football teams, and we've got to be able to make the play. And if we don't, we know what happens, and if we do, we know what happens. So that's it's part of postseason football.
Let me see if I can just follow that. And bottom line, how's the confidence right now? Is it okay?
How's the confidence in what in particular?
Just moving forward. Just do you guys have confidence that you get the job done Saturday night? You feel good about things?
Well, I think we always feel like we have a great plan, and I feel like we're going to go try to execute the plan the best we possibly can. And so that's been no different than what it's been all year. I don't think we go into any games going, man, I really hate what we're doing. I really do love what we're doing, trying to attack them the right way and go out there and score enough points to win.
You're playing and you're going to approach your 41st playoff game. As you get to these playoff games, what is the mental stamina like? Because physically, I'm sure everybody's kind of got their bruises and everything, but mentally, you kind of have to be a little bit stronger. Yeah,
you got to feel good. You got to feel good to be in this position. And there's a lot of teams that aren't playing this week, so I think you look at this like a great opportunity to do something you love to do, which is go play football. And if you're not looking at it like that, then you're in the wrong place. So to have the opportunity to play, for this team, in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which weekend it is, the first weekend of the playoffs, second weekend, third weekend, fourth weekend. The team that wins is going to move on, and the team that plays the best is the team that's going to win. So just focusing on playing our best this week is where it's been. And, the physical preparation's done, but the mental prep will keep going for the next, however long we got. What is that, 60 hours? 48 hours, 60 hours or so, a little less, give or take. There's no math major at Michigan. I was a general studies major, so I have to take a language, but I was always decent at math.
Tom, if I could follow on Tom's question and just kind of lay it out there, does it hit you at all? Do you allow it to penetrate your mind at all that this very well could be your last home game as a Patriot? I
haven't thought about those things, and I wouldn't be thinking about those things anyway. It's felt like a normal week for me, so I just approach practice like I always have, and try to do the best I could do. So that's what I'm gonna do this weekend as well.
Do you hear people wondering about it or no?
About what's my last game? I haven't turned the TV on. It's probably not the best after we lose to turn the TV on, listen to all your guys' shows and stuff like that. So probably weren't too many great things happening. So I try to lay low this week. So. Hi, Karen.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Not to get nostalgic on you, but what do you recall from the practice battles between Julian and Logan Ryan in the past?
They were pretty great, and they're both very, very, talented players that make you pay when you make a mistake. And they know each other really well. I have a lot of respect for Logan. Logan was a hell of a player here, and it was hard to see him go, but he got a great opportunity to go to Tennessee, and we played him a few times. And he's just a competitor. He's a football player. He's mentally, physically tough, good in the run game, really good blitzer, really good hands. So if you make a mistake, he makes you pay. And I'll be very conscious of where he's at, so I don't make a mistake that causes us a big problem.
Two final questions.
Tom, at the sorry, right here in
Oh,
front.
yeah.
Just know you said you're not very sentimental, and you've been asked about you personally, thinking about the future. But when it comes to this group,
Yep.
does that ever come into play? That for this, a lot of guys that have sort of made up the core of this team for a long time, this, playoff stretch could be sort of the last bite at the apple. Is there any maybe added motivation that you would take from understanding that? And do you think about that?
Yeah, I just think it's important for all of us not to take anything for granted. And I think that's what you think about, because if you think about it, every year that we're in the playoffs, it's really that same thing. The team will not be together if we lose, whether that was 2010, 11, 12, all the way to now. So even if you're going to the Super Bowl, it's the same feeling. This is our last one, and let's try to go end it the right way. And I know this game we haven't played in this particular round of the playoffs, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if we win, then what's the difference? So we just got to go win. And you got to go win. You got to do everything you can when that ball's kicked off to do the best you can to help the team win and put yourself and put the team in a great situation to go win. So it's not easy. It's tough. We're going against a great football team. They're going to make it tough. We're going to make it tough on them. That's what makes for great football games.
Last question, Yanni.
Tom over here. You have 30 playoff wins. The combined 11 other quarterbacks in the playoffs have 26. There's a lot of stats like
good?
that. That's pretty good, Tom.
Pretty good.
There are a lot of stats like that about you and the team over the last couple decades. How do you ensure that past performance and a so-called playoff mystique in this building isn't what you rely on come Saturday?
Well, I don't think, like I said, taking it for granted. I mean, as much as all those other games, were great to be a part of, they're not going to help, us win this game. This game will be determined by the guys that are out there and 60 minutes of football on offense, defense, special teams. Playing a great complementary game. Both teams have talked about being physical. So there's nothing in the past that matters. I mean, obviously, I think knowing what to expect can be a little bit helpful if you use the experience wisely, but it's not going to help me complete a pass this weekend. I think what's going to help me complete a pass is making the right read against the right coverage and throwing it to the guy that I feel like gives us the best chance to win. So, we all have a lot of, games that we played, but, at the same time, playing good football will surpass all those things. And playing, with each other, playing, like I said, all of us communicate in the right way, playing hard, playing physical, and not taking anything for granted out there, and not knowing which play, is going to make a difference in the game. Because, like I said, a lot of these games that we played and have come down to, the very end. So, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
I'll be right back in.